Back, Grace, it's good to see you. Looks like you're in the office, so getting good notes from little Audrey. Everything is doing well. Dave, are we ready to go live?
Yep, you just said it, so we're all set.
Okay, thank you. Okay, great. Morning, this is the convening of the Massachusetts Gaming Commission, and we are here for our agenda setting meeting. It is March 6th, and today is public meeting 164. We'll get right started on our agenda plan because I understand, Commissioner Maynard, we don't have any minutes for today.
Oh, did you want to do roll call, Madam Chair?
Oh, my apologies. Thank you. Good morning, Commissioner O'Brien.
Good morning.
Good. I have to do a roll call because we're holding this meeting virtually. Good morning, Commissioner Hill.
Good morning.
Commissioner Skinner is away this week. I don't know if she's calling in. She had told me she'd be away. Commissioner Maynard.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Good morning, and my apologies for the lateness and a little disruption at a conference. And Massachusetts is getting a lot of highlights. You should all be really proud of the great work that you do. Bills, this might not be working so well.
We
the host would like you to speak. I just don't want to disrupt. All right, so let's get started. Turning first to the calendar, we've got the calendar date right through April 11th. I don't know if we have any adjudicatory hearing that's been scheduled or any other public meeting that needs to be included. If so, Grace and Trudy, you've got calendars right in front of you. So is there anything we should be adding to that calendar?
Madam Chair, the only thing would be there's holds for March 18th for the final ED interview meeting.
That's going to be a go. We're greenlighting that. Okay, so let's add that. Anything else? Thank you.
Madam Chair, I would just note that the March 21st adjudicatory hearing for Bet MGM that is off at present until I believe until we determine the process. So that one will be rescheduled, but we wouldn't be using that date.
Is it the process, or is it still getting more information too that was requested, or is it both?
I think it's both. Yes.
Okay, good. All right, because I wanted to make sure. I know that some of the commissioners would be interested in making sure that updated information was there. Okay, Joe, you're not leaning in for another date, are you? All right, and let's get started for March 14th. Good morning, Todd. Do you have a particular administrative update?
Good morning, Madam Chair. I had nothing in particular, so I was just reminded that we talked a little bit about the federal legislation that was out there, and that might be a good topic to discuss at the administrative update, if that would be helpful.
I think we have it on we do have it on for this date. Mark was going to be working with legal to present. So Mark, could you coordinate with Todd? If you see Todd, it's number 12 on this particular agenda.
Oh, so it is. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Mark, you think we'll be ready for the...
Mark and legal. It is very much a legal issue because it's interpreting legislation. So, Mark, if you can coordinate with Todd, that would be great. Thanks. That will be on. Are you guys going to be all ready then for the 14th?
Yes, that will be ready.
Okay, excellent. I'd ask a question about that. All right. We've got Judy and Commissioner Maynard. Are those accurate dates and minutes?
Those are accurate dates. The 1st, the 15th, and the 21st of June, 2023, and we will have those over today.
Oh, okay. Excellent, thank you. Commissioner Hill, legislative update. Yes?
Yes, please.
We should talk about the specifics. So to the extent that we can give some specifics to the agenda, thanks. I know that you probably have budget in mind, at least if there's
Yes.
anything else, okay?
I don't
Grace will coordinate that.
know if this is the time to bring this up or not, or whether it would be under commissioner updates, but I've been talking with Todd and Grace and Derek and others. I would like to actually ask the commission if they wouldn't mind doing a legislative breakfast up on Beacon Hill in the first week of April, so that we can introduce to our legislators the work that we do and to introduce ourselves, as there are a lot of new legislators who have been elected since both bills have been passed, 23K and 23N. And I wanted to look to my fellow commissioners to see if that would be something you'd be interested in doing. And what I envision is an introduction of the MGC with a sponsor from the House, and that we would bring up 3 or 4 of our leaders to talk about the departments that affect the communities across the Commonwealth. But I didn't want to go and do that without reaching out to all of you first and seeing if you thought it was a good idea, and would you be willing to be not only part of it, but allow me to set it up and do the legwork to make that happen.
Excellent idea, Commissioner Hill. So, Commissioners, any?
I like the idea, and I'm
Any
assuming you've been talking to Todd to make sure we don't need to make it a public meeting, like to just structure it, right? So it's either some sort of training where we're sitting silent, or a public meeting so that we could actually speak or participate. I guess, are you working that with Todd?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. Same considerations as Commissioner O'Brien. And I would just go one step further and say, listen, if 2 or 3 of us commissioners need to be silent while somebody leads the conversation, I'm fine with that, right? Like whatever to make it work. And I trust Commissioner Hill to go out and swing the bat on that, given his history. So.
Well, that's a great idea, and it's great that you brought it forward in this forum so that everybody can be part of the planning. And so you and Grace and the legislative group, it sounds like we'll put together that for the calendar in April at some point. Okay, excellent idea.
Thank you, and thank you to my fellow commissioners.
And this is exactly the forum, Brad. When there are new initiatives and new ideas, this is why we do agenda setting. The team is great at making sure that, get heard. So I'm glad that you spoke right up. All right. So then in terms of regulations, are those a complete set?
Morning. Carrie's out this morning, but I can confirm that all 3 of those regulations are ready to come forward.
And they're accurate?
Correct. Yes. 221 is sports wagering license fees. 238.12 is reserve requirement. It has to do with a sports wagering letter of credit. And then lastly, coming up for discussion only is 238.35 canceled and voided wagers. So those will come for just a discussion before the commission before we ask for a vote.
Okay. Thanks, Judy.
No problem.
Right,
and
so
Trudy, I'll send you agenda language.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. The MGC license field approval, I'll turn to Mills and Dave.
I can speak to that too, Madam Chair. I have a brief memo sort of outlining the MGC's authority to enact a seal, as well as some exemplars in other jurisdictions, which will be part of the packet, and should be ready for discussion next week as well.
Great. Commissioner O'Brien, that's good news. It's a great initiative. All right. In terms of sports wagering, it's actually the combo, IEB, sports wagering, and legal. Caitlin, good morning.
Good morning. That will be ready for the 14th.
Okay, any questions or additions from you, Bruce or Crystal, on that? Are you all set? This is on the category 1 non-compliance. Has that been shared with you? You've all been coordinated with sports wagering, IEB, legal?
It'll all be, before we get it into the packet, everyone will have signed off for sure.
Okay, excellent, thanks. Then we have sports wagering. What do we got?
We have a few items, Crystal and Andrew.
Sure. 2 house rule updates, one from Fanatics, one from FanDuel, and then a new event petition. This is a joint petition from FanDuel and DraftKings. They both submitted a petition to include the United Football League, the UFL, in our event catalog.
Great. And what was the Fanatics and
Fanatics house rule,
DraftKings?
Fanatics house rule updates, FanDuel house rule updates, and then a joint petition from DraftKings and FanDuel to include the UFL.
Oh, okay, thanks. I heard Fanatics. My apologies.
And I will need to bring
Andrew,
forth. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Crystal. I was just going to say, Andrew, you got a big compliment for your presentation last week. I just wanted to pass it along from somebody who is watching. So people are listening and interested, and they thought your essay was very comprehensive. So thanks.
Great,
Crystal.
thank you.
Great. Yeah, so I'm just bringing forth 2 waivers for 257.034, which just expired on the 1st. So there are 2 operators who need to extend that, or requesting to extend that. At least 2, but I'll get you the information. It's been coming in the last 2 days.
Commissioners, did you get the rag, or should Crystal repeat it again?
257.034. It's the particular piece of the data privacy one regarding the encryption and the hashtagging, social media, encryption, hashing, and those components. So I think there was a conversation, and I know that Mina's planning on bringing some of that information forth, but since it expired, we're just trying to get it ahead of it.
Yeah. Great. And Crystal, I want to also say that, and Bruce, the entire team is being recognized, and Crystal, your good work is being pointed out as well. This does make me, I forget, Commissioners, you remember about maybe 2 weeks, maybe it was at the last public meeting, we had the 2 regulations where we were sending them back for the Attorney General's review, and one of them was 257. It had stemmed from an earlier meeting, and I think it's going to be helpful going forward. Todd, if there's a legal memo that connects back to a meeting, because that's just going to give us a point of reference, right? But we don't want to forget that there was 257, and the other one was the advertising reg, Judy and Todd, and that got sent back there was some question about where it stemmed from, and we suggested that the AG look at those changes that Mina brought forward. Actually, they weren't changes in that one. There were some options to see whether or not the commission wanted to entertain any change at all, and if they did, what degree of change. Todd, I just don't want us to forget that we are hoping to get the AG's input on that.
Absolutely, that is underway this week. So we will be bringing that back as well.
Yeah, okay, and so then they can come back when they're ready. Okay. Sorry. Okay,
Ma-
anything else?
Madam Chair, could I put one more under sports wagering, which would be an update on
Sure.
Valleys?
Oh, good. And Commissioner Skinner had asked for that.
Yes.
So thank you, Bruce. Okay. Oh, I guess I had it twice. My apologies. So Caitlin, we'll have you go over that item twice that day. It should work out well.
I'll be ready for it.
We'll really get it.
Drive the
We'll get
point
it.
home.
Okay, so then we're looking at the process, Justin, a little bit to your point too, for the non-compliant adjudicatory hearing. So you and Caitlin, will you be ready to sort of walk us through that, or do you need more time?
I think we're going to need more time, Madam Chair. We did receive a call from counsel from one of our operators yesterday, and who indicated they would be sending a letter or a memorandum of a number of legal issues that they wanted to raise that relate directly to this and are somewhat broader, somewhat broader than what we had initially discussed at the last public meeting as far as what our inquiry would be. So I think it would be a best use of time to incorporate our responses to that when we receive it into the full discussion, so the commission can kind of see everything at one time. And I've discussed that with Caitlin. Caitlin, if you have any other comments, but I think it would be best to address it in one fell swoop.
I agree. And since we haven't seen those comments yet, we're not going to be ready to respond by the deadline for the packing material. So I think we could move this out to the meeting at the end of the month. That would be appreciated.
Okay. We'll just wait for that letter, not necessarily move it to the next public meeting. We'll put it under review.
I think we should, if you don't mind, Madam Chair, I think we should try to put it on the next meeting, because we are sort of in a holding pattern on some of these adjudicatory hearings and these sports wagering non-compliance matters until we have an understanding of how the commission wants the IAB to act in certain circumstances. So I don't want to kick it out too far.
Commissioners, we can also, if it requires a separate meeting, a short meeting, it's kind of heady. So if we want to mark it up for a separate public meeting, that could be good too. So I see Brad and Eileen nodding their heads. Jordan. Morning, Joe.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. We should be all set for a couple of items.
Yep. You'll just send the language over to us on any specifics. Thanks.
Yes.
That's not good. With respect to the introduction to the new applications, is that going to be a very lengthy introduction?
No, I think about just about 10 minutes or so on that. So I think that both items should take probably a half hour or less.
Okay. All right. Good morning, Kara. How are you? You've got,
I'm well, thank you. Good morning.
Springfield.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
Springfield's request.
Yes, we will be all set to present that on the 14th.
Can you hear me okay? No?
I can hear
Can you hear me or no?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We're all set. Good. Thank
Okay.
you so much. Thanks, and Carrie, you always have done such a nice job on those, so thank you. Then we're back to number 12. Mark, and let's make sure to put legal. Todd, is it you or is it one of your colleagues?
You know, I was just looking at this again, and I have not looked at this, and I don't think any of us have in legal, so I don't think we would be prepared to submit certainly any materials. in the next day or so. And I haven't really talked to Mark extensively about this. This might benefit from an additional meeting to let us prepare for this one. I'm generally familiar with it, but not the particulars.
Well, in terms of materials, we aren't going to be voting on this. It's an update. Would we be able to still keep it on for the 14th, or do you want to roll it over?
I think it would be helpful perhaps to roll it over. I really just am not, as I sit here right now, prepared to talk about that. I don't know what type of review that will entail at the moment. So just to make sure, I think it would be helpful to put it off.
Mark?
That's fine. I'll certainly defer to Todd on that.
Hey. Morning, Dr. Lightbound. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good, thank you. So we're ready for the outs discussion. That's all set. The unpaid winnings from the tracks, and that should be pretty quick. That's standard operating procedure by statute.
And then your bigger discussion, right, on the escrow.
Yes. Judy and I were wondering if commissioners would like 2x2s on that item. And if so, we weren't sure if there was time to do them before the meeting. It looks like you all have a few meetings already scheduled next Monday and Tuesday. So we weren't sure if you wanted to keep it on the 14th or move it. And Judy's on if she wants to speak to this.
I can be brief. I'm here this week. I'm basically here all week. I'm in the office. I can be briefed anytime.
As could I, because it's not going to be a long briefing.
So we've reached out to Trudy and Grace, welcome back, Grace, to help us see if we can find some time on your schedules, commissioners, for 2x2s. Just as a brief overview, we went over this agenda item back in June of 2023, and it went pretty long, about I think an hour and 15 minutes, just kind of getting through the history of the regulation and 23K Section 60, which kind of gives an overview of the Racehorse Development Fund. And then bringing things forward to where it stands today and additional research that we've done, just kind of figuring that there is some nuance here that would probably benefit from 2x2s before bringing this forward, but understanding that, packet materials are due in the next couple of days. So if we don't have the opportunity to meet with you, we are able to push back, to a later meeting date, but amendable either way. Sorry, excuse me.
I think that we should plan on moving forward. I think you should submit the materials. Sounds like, Commissioner Hill, Commissioner Maynard are all set. I'm sure between, I am out of pocket on Friday. Tomorrow I'm pretty booked, but I could squeeze in time. And then Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I'm sure that we have some meetings.
Monday's pretty about to hang.
Next week looks to be a little bit of a bear, so we just wanted to flag it.
I am open. I'm like Commissioner Maynard today, and I'm pretty open both today and tomorrow. So
I've unfortunately I've got a little bit of an ongoing sickness going through my house, so I'm a bit of a sticky wicket, unfortunately. But I can try to make myself available. So we'll see what we can do.
Okay. Well, if it turns out that we can't get them done and we want the 2x2s, then we'll roll it over. Commissioners, what do you think?
Yep.
Try to have them get it in.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work, Alan?
Yes, thank you. And then if this is a good time to bring up another item that we'd like to add.
Yeah, this is a great time.
Okay. Random has a request to add another simulcast import signal, and it's time sensitive in that the event is March 30th, so it wouldn't make the March 28th meeting because they would, if they wanted to advertise it, they'd like to have it approved before then. And this way, if we get it on for the 14th, I don't have to use the authority to approve it. It'll be approved directly by you guys right off the bat, if you so choose to.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else from the team for March 14th?
Madam Chair, licensing will actually also have a exemption request from the registration process. We're actually going to be requesting an unexemption for a registration for Plain Ridge Park Casino.
Kara, is
That's
this
for March 14th.
MGCIB asking to do it, or is this Plainville asking?
So there's an adjustment to the job description, and Plainville has essentially indicated that they would also request it, but given what we've looked at, we think it's appropriate that we have it be that position be registered.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Thank you.
And that's for the 14th. Do you have materials for us on that as well?
Yes, we will by tomorrow.
Excellent. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Anything else from the team? Okay, moving on to March 28th. So you were going to do the administrative update on the federal legislation for March 14th. We just rolled that over. I don't know if you guys are going to call it an administrative update or what, but in there for the 28th now? March and you? And
Yeah, I think
anything else?
that's pretty good. I don't know, Commissioner Hill, if there's anything else you can think of for the 28th, but we can definitely talk about the GRID Act.
No, that's fine.
What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what was it that you were going to talk about?
The GRID Act, that's the federal legislation that we've been talking about.
So I want to be respectful of Mark because he asked for it to be an item. I just want to know, is it going to be an administrative update or is it going to be an item in the agenda?
Thank you. Actually, I think an administrative update is great. It should be very brief.
Okay, good.
We can distribute a little bit of materials on it, but I think it fits well in that.
Excellent. Okay. Right. Meeting minutes, how do those look, Judy and Commissioner Maynard?
I would have to defer to Judy to get the dates out that far.
Look good.
Give a thumbs up. Okay, and then Commissioner Hill for legislative update, maybe you'll have more details on your planned event by then. Right? Anything else? Brad, anything else for legislative update? Okay.
Nope.
And then regulations. Okay, thanks. Regulations, we've got 15. Is that right, Judy?
Yes, so this is 205 CMR 15, horse racing licensing. So this is the application reg for horse racing that has been up at the State House for about 60 days for finalization. So it'll come back before the commissioners for a final vote on the 28th.
And we will have sports wagering items, but not right at the current time.
We'll keep it there. Okay. And then Mark, you've got the research agenda.
Yes, we will be ready for that. It's FY25, not 255. Just a slight typo in there. Oh,
No, I don't see those two. I don't see those 2 5s there, Mark.
of course not. It's my eyesight.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, fiscal year 25. Thanks. Item number 7, Alex.
Yes, we'll be ready for a series of Plain Ridge items for opening day.
Opening day is
April 15th. 4 o'clock post.
15th, tax day or 16th?
The 15th, yeah.
Okay, great. Mark your calendars.
Alex, that's Patriots Day, yeah?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
They usually do open then, right around then.
Different runners.
Right.
Okay, anything else for the 28th other than the federal legislation update? Okay, then we're moving to under review. Those 2 regulations that I mentioned, Judy, we'll have those under review so they, Judy and Todd, so we don't forget about them. We'll start with the ILEV review.
Yeah, that's still under review.
Okay, Compliance Committee.
Still under review.
Okay, Commissioner Skinner's not here, but I'm assuming that the HCA is under review still, Joe?
Yeah, that's still ongoing.
Okay, the bet restriction issue. That's Andrew and Bruce. Are you working with legal on that?
Bruce, you're muted if you're trying to speak.
Yeah, there we go. That can be removed. We've discussed this with Commissioner Skinner, and she agrees that can be removed off the pending under review.
Take it off altogether?
Yes, ma'am.
So can I ask if,
Okay,
if maybe the others of us could get an update though on why it's been removed?
Yeah. Everything has been met to Commissioner Skinner's satisfaction. She agrees that it shouldn't be in a public discussion, but we are open to discussing it with each of the commissioners individually if you would.
Yeah, I would like that.
Okay, we'll set up a meeting.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay.
So I just want to be clear, it's a discussion about, is it more appropriate for an executive session? Do you know what's being resolved here?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, not just to distill it a little bit, and obviously more detail is required, but there are regulations that govern this issue that we looked at, and it's addressed also in the individual House rules. So there was an initial question as to how it is addressed or whether it's addressed, and we determined that it is, and it is being addressed squarely. So to the point, I think it would make some sense perhaps for us to actually talk about it so everyone can see the rules and how it's being implemented and whatnot. But as far as kind of the immediate urgency, it was looked at, and that's kind of where we landed. That's why I think Bruce was suggesting that it could come off. But it's still an interesting and important area that I think warrants some discussion. So we could actually probably put it on the agenda for the 28th or thereafter, and we'd be ready to go on that.
Right. I'm not, I just want to make sure that we always honor our commitment to transparency. And
right.
It sounds like this is a discussion that can very much be in the public. And requested. So if it's a matter of our regulations interpretations, Todd, you and Bruce can coordinate. So put it on for the 28th. And if it's something that belongs in executive session, we'll obviously use that appropriately. Okay. So the executive director screening can come off if we're going to address that on the 18th.
Right.
Okay. So, any movement?
No, nothing as of yet. I think, we talked about maybe coming in front of the commission on the 28th. I think I'd like to wait until the next agenda setting meeting before firming that up or not.
Keep it under review then,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
They're going to send you something, right?
Yes, they're supposed to send me a packet of information.
So, Commissioner Bryan, this is one of the regs that you had raised. Should it be something that the commission consider? I don't know, Eagles got a lot on their hands, so I don't know if there's been any movement on that one. Justin?
No, I think so. Carrie, I don't think is on. I think this is still under review. She's still pulling that language. We have not, she and I have not connected directly on this yet, though.
Yes, Madam Chair, my
Okay.
understanding is that both of the items for Carrie 7 and 8 are both still under review at this time.
Right, and they're both Ohio examples.
Yep.
Nice we can share a little and they're sharing, so it's excellent. All right. And then thank you, because the one that I had asked about is going on this Thursday, and that's the voiding. Just go back and for discussion only. BPH, stay tuned on that. Trying to see if they'll be able to schedule some time to give an update. I think you find it interesting. Just so we can keep it under review, she might have gone off. But those sports wagering reports, she's got us on a good system right now. But probably because coordinating those dates sooner than later, might be helpful for your sake, if nothing else.
I agree. I'll work on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little, give them a breath maybe, but yeah, sooner so that they can plan. Yeah. Okay.
Virtual
wagering.
Yeah, the virtual wagering is, the petitioner is withdrawn, so we'll withdraw that on our pending as well. Nobody's asking for it anymore.
Chris, can you remind me how it came up?
It come up because a couple people had requested and shown interest in virtual sports wagering, and now those requests are licensees, yes. And then
from licensees, okay.
Yeah, and then that has been withdrawn now from the
okay,
request.
should we take it off? Should we take it off then?
Yep.
Okay, got it. Mark, you've got a couple of reports.
Yes, I do. And I think we can keep those 3 under review for right now.
Good. Okay, and then Commissioner Maynard, you've got on number 15. I'm wondering if I got the language right. Is it really top got restrictions, or do you want to elaborate, or are you okay with how it's written?
So, in short, this is about the NCAA and what they did with Ohio. I'm not sure. I know that I got a really good briefing from sports wagering and from Tom. I don't know if the fellow commissioners got a similar briefing, but I think it would be helpful. I would maybe change this item slightly, the language. Really, I'm interested to see if what the NCAA thinks about what we're doing here. Are we similarly situated to Ohio in every way, shape, and form? right? As far as the same level of protections, right? So really, it's about protections of college athletes, I think, and whether it's restrictions on bets or whether it's anti-harassment, right? Like all sorts of issues that they're tackling nationwide. Maybe we invite eventually the NCAA to come speak with us, maybe like a roundtable.
They would want to. A lot of talk here at this conference, of course, on this particular issue. Maryland also just passed, no prop bets on student athletes. So the states are, we're lucky, right? We're lucky in Massachusetts because the statute already granted that protection. So you're just really generally talking about the protections generally on student athletes. The teams might not be the right word. That was really my question.
Yeah, that's correct. That's right. And
okay.
and I, having looked at the minutes because of my position, we had a long conversation about how far did the harassment and how far can we go, right, on keeping a bad actor from an app, right? And we had that when we talked to the players associations. So anyways, I think it's still ripe for conversation, even though our statute protects certain pieces that other states are just now addressing. So I agree with you. We're lucky on that front.
Okay. Anything else for under review?
Madam Chair, really not so much an under review, but I think with the, with the Community Mitigation Fund, with our application reviews going ahead, I think like similar to what we do with sports wagering, I think we'd like to get kind of an agenda item put on each agenda, starting with April 11th, kind of right through the end of June. Sort of reserving kind of a block of about an hour on each one. And, we think we'll be ready on April 11th to start coming forward, and there'll be some ebbs and flows to how many we bring in each commission meeting, and some meetings there may not be any, but others there may be a lot. So I think we just like to block out those times to make sure that we've got them on agendas.
Okay, that sounds good. It's going to be a little bit different because you've got your new program.
Yes, yeah. We'll on next Thursday we'll kind of go over the process a little bit as well on what we're envisioning it looking like.
Great. Thanks, Joe. Anything else?
Madam Chair.
Rudy, Grace, so you guys. Oh, sorry, Mark.
That's right. It's early, but I would like to add it under review. It's the gambling advertising report. It's in the midst of our first round review, but I'm excited to get that out to the commission.
Mark, are you doing anything for PGAM during March? Or do you want to do an update at all?
Yeah, it may make most sense to add that to the end of the month, and we can do a PGAM recap on all of the activities that are happening at the in partnership with our operators.
Yeah, I think it should. Yeah, rather than April, I think it's nice to do it in March.
Okay.
If you're ready. Okay.
Yeah, we can
be ready. So for March 28th, we'll ask. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. There is a lot happening at each of our sites. So
that's good. Okay, anything else? All right. Hearing nothing, need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks. Was that Commissioner Maynard?
Yep.
Thanks. Okay. Commissioner O'Brien.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Maynard.
Aye.
I vote yes. 4-0.